Here we go, reacting to the CPUSA again. This is like my favorite content to react to. I hate reacting to Vosh, you know what I mean? I fucking hate doing it. I hate reacting to Vosh so much. I just hate fucking looking at that guy, you know? This, I can react to this. I don't have an issue reacting to this. You know why? Because it doesn't stress me out. It'll never be TOS. And it's also funny. It's also funny, okay? It's funny. Alright, the absolute state of the CPUSA. So let's see what's going on.
Revolution, and welcome to Good Morning Revolution.
Why are the... I think it's the AirPods mic. Dude, this dude's got AirPods. Why do you got AirPods, man? He's an iPhone user. He's an iPhone user.
The show where we talk about politics, culture, economics. We tell bad jokes, and we try to keep it real. Rosanna, Michael, Anita, and Scott. Good morning.
Good morning, Revolution.
Good morning, Revolution.
She hates us. She said we remind her of the incel movement, so she's not our friend.
Good morning. Scott, you're going a little bit gray there, buddy, but what can I say? You know, better than having no hair.
Oh, God, this guy.
I don't know if I can pull off that bald look, Joe.
Silicon Valley. Dude.
I would go for it, but I think my head's beard-shaped and my ears stick out, so.
What was the name of the basketball player, the Chicago Bulls, who was tremendous athlete and personality, who...
You know, except the incel lady who I genuinely dislike, these people are way better than Vosh. Can we at least admit that? They're way better than Vosh. These people are way better than Vosh. Like, with all my problems I have with them, at least they're not Vosh. You know what I mean? At least they're not Vosh. I mean, come on. They're way better than Vosh. Way, way better than Vosh. And that's really telling, you know?
Was bald-headed. Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Michael, when he went bald, it was a great relief to me.
Poor Joe, dude. Joe Sims is just being misled by that fucking Fed. That one Fed girl. What's her? I don't know her name. She's like... She literally texts him. Yeah, I'll show you the text, by the way. Because she posted it. She's part of the gang of 3. And she posted the text from Joe Sims. And I don't know why, but this is not a joke. She posted on Twitter like it's a joke. She posted on Twitter because she found it funny, but there's this like Fed girl who worked for like the human rights. She's like a Fed. She's a Fed, but she has a lot of power in the party, right? And she's like my age too, by the way. And she heckled Zizek and shit. And this is what Joe Sims asked her. What's, you know... So they're on like a direct texting level of communication. She has a lot of... she's in the ear of Joe Sims, like telling a bunch of bullshit about us. And that's why he denounced us and Caleb, is because of her. She's the only reason we were denounced. Literally just her. You know? But, yeah. This is...
You know? But everybody started kind of...
No, it's real. If you guys thought that was just a meme, it's not. It's actually a real message.
It came in style. It came in style, and I was so vain. You ever remember that song from the 60s, Rosanna? Anita, you're so vain. You bet you think this song was about you. That was me.
What?
Farley Simon.
Here we go with the Rosanna. Thank you, Frodad. He always talks about Rosanna.
I would had a big afro, and it would blow, and when I started to lose my hair, the bald sparks would appear. Anyway, this show is not about my balding, my bald-headed anxieties. It's about revolution and struggle, and the struggle for democracy. And there's been a big assault on democracy by the right wing and the court system.
I I thought he was going to talk about the assault on democracy by the Democrats, but it looks like they're just blaming the Republicans for everything now. By the way, guys, I want to share something with you because did you know the Republican Party is up in the air right now? They don't even have they don't even know what they are anymore. The Republican Party has an identity crisis. It's like the Democrats are very clearly the party of Silicon Valley and the corporations and Wall Street. But the Republicans, besides the fossil fuel industry, which is bipartisan, by the way, it's not like the Democrats are also in the pocket of the fossil fuel industry. There's a lot of these new like populist Republican candidates, some of whom support Medicare for all. It's so weird, right? So no one knows what's going on. But the Republicans are just a party of resistance now. They're the party of evangelicals. There's that. Yeah, the religious aspect is still there. Why do these guys care about an assault on democracy if they're communists? Well, because Lenin used the word democracy a lot, but he actually meant populism. Whenever Lenin used the word democracy, he wasn't talking about procedural democracy. He was talking about popular rule, peasants, right?
Rosanna, are abortion rights about to disappear?
Which new Republican supports Medicare for all? They're in New York. It's like a New York Republican. Yeah, some of them are endorsing legal weed. Some are endorsing UBI. So it's really weird what's going on. We still need to build a third party. But what I'm trying to say is we are going to draw from... So here's the thing. The Republican Party is the same as the Democratic Party. It's an establishment captured party that can't be taken over, right? I've actually heard of like socialists or communists who are like, yo, we should take over the Republicans. And I've actually thought about it too, but no, it's for the same reasons you can't take over the Democrats, you cannot take over the Republicans. But there's a growing number of Republican politicians who are populist that when they're fucked over by the Republican establishment, we can bring them on over to our new third party that we want to build, the People's Party, right? Same with the Democrats too, right? So it's all about our third party. All these people are climbing an uphill battle, and these are our people we want to win over for a third party. Will the CPUSA not be fringe even if it's not cringe? No, it doesn't have to be fringe at all.
I don't know.
As long as it provides a unique vision.
Sotomayor made a really good point yesterday, asking, are we just appealing to I think it was some of these states that are saying that in essence, they're referring to the fact that they have the support in the Supreme Court now because of the new court judges. And she asked the question, does that lose our credibility as Supreme Court justices? And my answer is yes, it does. It already has. So I think we should push on that, that the Supreme Court should stay neutral and stick to the Constitution and not be pandering to the right wing.
What? Who's talking about pandering to the right wing? What the fuck are you talking about? What are they saying? I also think we should stick to the Supreme Court. Here's my position on the abortion shit. Ready? Let the courts deal with it. Let's not focus all of our fucking energy on it. Why are we focusing all our energy on it? Let the courts deal with it. It's a culture war. It's culture war shit, Oh my god. This is fucking incredible. Hold on. Hold on, give me a sec. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Diminishes the authority of the court, you think?
Exactly.
Anita?
It diminishes the authority of the court because the courts are becoming increasingly politicized. So you, the Communist Party, should use this as an opportunity to talk about the limitations of institutional democracy. And you should talk about how institutions are inherently political. We just need a pro-people politics, right?
What's your take?
It legitimates, it diminishes the legitimacy of the court, but unfortunately, it doesn't legitimate its actual authority, its actual power. And I think this would be, I really think Roe is doomed.
This is the leader of the incel movement, right? This is what she is. I don't know her name. She's like the official leaderhead of the incel movement of the CPUSA, right? One sec.
From what people are saying this week about the way the judges, three new Trump appointees, the questions they were asking. I think Judge Roberts.
So here's my question to them. What do they propose to do? Because there's no democratic way of getting new judges. So what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? How are you going to... I don't get why the protests. You know those stupid fucking abortion protesters who are like... There's these like pro-abortion protesters that were like protesting the decision. They're like, we are gonna take birth control pills, and they were just taking all these birth control pills in public. What is that gonna do? What does that do? How does that change anything? I mean, if you want to mount public pressure on the courts, I guess, I don't know, to get a different, outcome, that's not going to be the way to do it because you're actually just alienating. You're not convincing the anti-abortion masses to be pro-choice, you know?
Tried to steer a middle course and the right wing was not interested in that middle course. It looks really bad. And I think what's going to happen is women are going to have to organize. And that's what has happened around the world.
Okay, organize all you want. How are you going to change the court ruling?
When women really make demands.
But and here's another thing too. I don't know. She's like the leader of the incel movement or whatever, and she fetishizes, non-European people despite being 100% European herself. Thing is, this is a tricky thing, right? A ton of the anti-abortion constituency are women. I don't know why people have this idea that men are the main people against abortion. Why do people have this idea that men are like the main cohort of pro-lifers? They're not. It's like mothers are and older women are. I bet you there's more women who are pro-life. Let me see. Pro-life by gender in the USA. Do they have polls on this? Pro-life versus pro-choice. Okay, actually, so this is a small sample size of 1,000 interviews. And here, they actually do show that men are more pro-life by 7%. So 43% of women are pro-life, and 50% of men are pro-life. But that's just one survey. So this survey from Vox, actually, pro-choice. So, okay, let me show you this survey from Vox, right? This is Vox. There's no bias here, right? There's absolutely no bias. This is another survey from Vox that shows so female's the darker one. Women are more pro-life than men in this survey, right? There you go. So, and the whole article actually is that, please make sure there's no like pictures of pussy. It's called Men and Women Have Similar Views on Abortion. Men and women have similar views on abortion. There's not really a clear gender divide on this, right? In the US and Europe, few differences between women and men in views of abortion. Percent who say abortion should be legal in all or most cases. So women lead men in most cases that it should be legal, but not all. For example, in Ireland, you know, it's different. There's a different trend. Or what am I misreading this? No, in Ireland it's the same. Hold on, let me see. This is where the trend is reversed. Slovakia, it's the same. And Poland, it's reversed. Here we go. Poland, it's reversed. Italy, it's reversed. Romania, it's reversed. And in the US, there's a 3% difference. So it's not really a difference. Portugal, it's reversed. Norway, it's reversed. So generally, I think you could say by a tiny percent, women are more likely to think it should be legal, but not enough for it to really be like significant. You know? So yeah. I don't know why the CPUSA is framing it this way.
You know, they can get heard. And I think it just needs to, you know, get to
As far as my views, so personally speaking, what my views are. Let me think. I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. Personally speaking, let's say I knocked someone up and we didn't want to have a child and she wanted to go get an abortion. I don't think I would have an issue with it. You know, I call myself conservative and shit, but I'm just being honest with you about my personal views, right? I take it very seriously, right? I wouldn't like be lighthearted or like unserious about it. I do think it'd be like, yeah, we really fucked up here, and then we cannot date after this, and there's no future between us after this. But I'm not that sentimental about it. But then again, I'm not that educated about it. I'm not that educated about it, right? So I could be wrong. Like I could be wrong about like how that whole thing fucking works or whatever. But it's just not something I'm personally sentimental about, right? When we're talking about like the early stage abortions, the very early ones, right? But on the other hand, after a few months, I guess it's a lot different, honestly. But I could really see why people are against it. I respect it. I respect the people who are against it because I get it, right? It's like a slippery, you know, I get it. Especially when you're looking at like later on in the course of pregnancy, where it's like, okay, you kind of have a bump in the belly. Okay, when they start having that bump in their belly, it's like, okay, this is fucked up. Is this stupid? I'm just a dumb guy who's giving you my opinion. I'm a dumb guy who's giving you my opinion on this. I'm dumb on this subject. I can be dumb on certain things, guys. I can be dumb on certain subjects, right? I personally find it fucked up when there's an abortion, when there's like a bump in the belly, right? At that point, I'm like, that's a little fucked up, right? If it was legal, I wouldn't protest it, but I'd still find it, you know, just disturbing, a little bit disturbing. But when there's no bump in the belly, I just don't give a shit. Personally speaking, I don't give a shit, right? Is that like a vulgar way of looking at it? Like, I don't know, it's really superficial because it's like, oh, she got a bump in her belly, so there's something there. but she don't got a bump in her belly, which means there's nothing there, right? That's just how my brain works. But that's just my dumb opinion on this. I'm not really that informed about abortion. I'm not that informed about it. The reasons are usually medical issues like deformities or health issues. Would you still abort if it was your wife instead? No. Absolutely not. If it's someone I'm in love with or it's my wife, then to me, I believe in destiny and fate. And, yeah, at that point, no, I get it. Because it's like, that's fate, But what can you do? If it is fate, then she wouldn't want to get it aborted either. If she wanted to get it aborted, I would never talk to her again. That's the thing. If let's say I thought I was in love with someone or whatever, and I knocked her up, and she wanted to get an abortion, then she just killed our relationship. She did that shit, There's no way we would ever. You know what I mean?
That active.
But I wouldn't, I wouldn't like try to prevent her from doing it in the sense of forcing her not to do it, right? But I would just end the fucking relationship.
Point. And I also think women will make ways. I mean, there are medical abortion options. I think that women.
What about if you had a kid with her separated and she got pregnant from fate again? From me or from another man? Because it's from another man. Abort that little motherfucker. I don't give a shit. It's from another man. I don't give a fuck. That ain't my kid. Know what I mean? Matter of fact, I hope she gets a fucking abortion.
Women have stepped in to help other women at times like this. But I think we really have to organize and demand that right to control over our own bodies. It's just so basic. I really like the argument that the Mississippi clinic was making. The attorney for that.
Look, either way, if it's legal or if it's not legal, I really don't care. That's where I'm coming from when it comes to abortion. I don't care about it. I don't care. So that's that. I do not care. And I know people are like, well, it's women's decision. I agree, right? But the problem is that women are split on the issue too. So I'm sick of people trying to be like, oh, women are pro-abortion and men are anti-abortion. Nah, bro, women are split on that shit too. So y'all women got to work that amongst yourselves, because you can't just say all women want abortions legal or most women want abortions legal. I don't even know if that's true, So y'all women got to work that amongst yourselves, because that's where the issue's coming from.
For the clinic was saying that it really, to overturn Roe would mean women.
What they're saying here it's completely like ignorant. They're trying to make it seem like it's like all women, right? And nah, bro.
Don't fully.
They're split too.
Participate in society, and I really believe that's true. To be.
It's exactly it. You have a good amount of women, like half, that don't want it legal, and you have to address that in some way. And I guess these people will address it by saying that's internalized misogyny. Shut the fuck up, man. You know what I mean? That's internalized misogyny. It's like, okay.
Be forced to carry
it's like
unwanted pregnancy to term, and then Coney Barrett's idea is just.
We gotta start talking about the matriarchy, because I don't know what this is, but it's like, it seems like a lot of women I've been with, it seems like there's just this fear of the woman. They're like, oh yeah, but like this, like all these women will get mad at me. Not all these women, like the woman will get mad at me. You know what I mean? Just like how we say the man, there's also the woman who's like bossing all these women around and telling them what to do and shit. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in this world no more.
Well, bring the child up for adoption, but that's just like, it's a traumatic event all around. So I really think it's a crisis point in the reproductive rights sphere right now.
And at the
As
same
much as
time,
this is a general democratic issue, isn't it a class issue as well? I mean, isn't it like affecting poor and working class women disproportionately?
Oh,
Got you
I think
about
so.
something?
If I'm, I don't know.
Who's more likely to get abortion? Hold on. Abortions by class. Abortion rates by income. Oh, wow. It's mostly the poor that get abortions. But they also have more children, right? They also have more children too. So I don't know if that's because, you know what I mean?
Our comrade has a great article in People's World that the fight against abortion bans is a working class fight, because working class women will be the ones most affected. I'm sorry if I jumped in here.
But the reason is because they just have more children in general, right? Most women who have abortions are already mothers. Yeah, it's a working class fight because working class women are the ones who get abortions the most. But why do they get abortions? That's the question. Do they get abortions because they want to? Or do they get abortions because they can't afford another child? If you're saying that, because if it's because they can't afford having another child, what they're saying is pretty fucked up. Right? You can't, they're going to be more affected. Then why don't you fight for policies that makes it easier for people to have children and raise children? And why don't you fight for policies that makes the lives of working class mothers easier, right? That's a working class struggle if I could ever think of one. This is kind of cynical what she's saying, It's kind of really cynical what she's saying. Shouldn't you be fighting for policies that makes it easier for working class mothers to raise children? Yeah, and time too. That's another thing. They don't got the time. So Biden passed the child tax credit. That expires in 2022. That child tax credit expires. It doesn't last forever. You can fight for both at the same time. But don't say it's a working class struggle if the only reason they're doing it is because they can't afford it. If they would otherwise have the child and they can afford it, don't say it's some working class struggle. I have not been convinced about why communists should fight for pro-choice. I haven't been convinced. Someone can convince me. I haven't been convinced. Why should we? Why should we take a side either way? Why should we get involved? I should actually better word it. Why should communists get involved in the abortion dispute? Shouldn't we just be hands off here and respect both opinions and tolerate both opinions and let them sort it out? It's like, why get involved? Leave it to the states type thing? But what's communist about the struggle for abortion is what I don't fucking understand. It's a cultural struggle that doesn't seem to be our business. But why abstain? Why not abstain? Why should we take a side? And if we take a side, we're just gonna fucking alienate people for no reason. We should be open-minded to both sides of the debate. Abortion is just a choice that people make. No, it's a false thing to focus on. Let's focus on the deeper causes. It's a materialistic issue. Okay, listen, insignificant. This is something American leftists do. They think materialism means anything that has sensuous implications. That's not what materialism means. When you, like, for example, when they're like, the struggle for not hurting the feelings of non-binary people in college is materialist because it materially affects their mental health. It's like, shut the fuck up. That's not what materialism fucking means. It's a, yeah, culture struggles affect people's lives, but that's not what makes it material. What a materialist struggle, for example, or I'm sorry, a class struggle, a material class struggle, is about the fundamental basis of life. It's not about culture struggles, okay? It's a dumb culture struggle.
No.
Having babies is absolutely a material thing. I think, can I say the word retarded? Because there's something about Americans that fit that description. Can you stop abusing the word material to mean anything that's in sensuous reality? Matter of fact, here's the thing. I'm gonna give you one last chance. I'm gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself. The unknown cultural revolution. Here you go. Here you go. So look, this is the video that you can type in Google search or YouTube and go watch this. Watch it from start to finish and then come back to me. I don't have time to deal with your fucking stupidity. We covered it here, right? We covered all this dumb shit here.
No, it's okay. Scott?
Yes, having babies is material, but the dispute about whether abortion should be legal or illegal is cultural. We're talking about the dispute, okay? Yes, yes, having babies is real, okay? No one's saying it's not real, but the dispute is cultural. It's not hard to fucking understand.
Yeah, I was going to say, working class women in the first place, but also their partners and their families. And this impacts all.
People who don't have children shouldn't talk about it. I agree with that, actually. I do agree that the abortion debate, you need to listen to people who've had kids, 100,000%. If you haven't had kids, I don't know what the fuck, how much insight you're going to have on this topic. You know?
Working class people. And we have to remember as well that Roe is important, and if it's overturned, it'll be a setback. But abortion is already inaccessible. The right to reproductive autonomy.
Can I add something to the anti-abortion people in my chat? And I'm asking genuinely. Do you also oppose birth control, like the morning after pill and Plan B and the pill? Because you don't oppose that? Because I like to do it raw, I'm not gonna lie. I like to do it. Is that satanic? Isn't that kind of fucked up? Like, not only do I like to do it raw, and this is only if she's taking the pill and the morning after pill, and I don't encourage this because you will get someone pregnant on accident. So do not live by these words. It's very dangerous. But I just like nutting inside. I don't like pulling out. I like nutting inside. but I don't always want to have a kid. You understand? So it's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fucked up because it's like, I definitely think, you know, birth control, it's like it's kind of crossing the lines, you know? Am I just saying that selfishly? I don't know. But I don't know. Birth control is like, look, my prescriptive views and advice about sex is very conservative. Casual sex is bad in general. It is mentally bad experience. And listen, it is bad, 100,000%. And I don't recommend it. The reason I partake in this satanic stuff is because I have a broken heart. You know what I mean? I just have bad experiences. I'm a tragical, like, in terms of my romantic history, I'm a very tragical figure. You know what I mean? Like, so that's how I'm dealing with it. But if you can manage to just, like, find a good girl, get married to her, whatever, just fucking do that. You know what I mean? Don't do this casual shit, casual sex shit. It's not good for you. It's really not good for you. Prescriptive. Yeah, that's my prescriptive thing. Is like, you should just have children. Get married, have children. You should get married and have children. That's what you should do. But you want to know why I can't do that? I can't do that because, I don't know. I'm fighting an uphill battle. Thing is, I'm not an example to live by as far as, like, in general, you know? No. I don't know. I just feel like we live in such a fake world. You know what I mean? And I do think we can get to a point where we can go past the fake and have realness again. But this world is so fake. This is a fake ass society we live in. Fake ass world. Fake society. You understand? So to me, I don't trust nobody. That's the issue. I just don't trust nobody. In an ideal society, you would never have one partner ever. But, you know, we live in a fucked up world.
And control over your own body.
Let me put it this way, right? From here on out, every single girl I hook up with, I'm hooking up with what the fuck do you call it? The trace of my future wife. I'm never actually going to get married and find my wife, but she's just going to be this spectral image that is going to appear every time I hook up with anyone. And it's just going to, like, every single time, that's when they're going to, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like an ephemeral experience. I'm only ever going to hook up with the same woman, but it's going to be through multiple women. You understand?
It already does not exist for millions and millions of women in states where there are, only one or two abortion clinics, where, they would have to pay out of pocket, where they don't have a way to get transportation, where,
Who the fuck said that guy isn't piping? Who the fuck said that guy isn't piping anything? Shut the fuck. Yo, dude, chill. I don't know why the fuck you would say that shit, man. Are you gonna talk about the Patriot Front March? Yeah, I am.
There are, obstacles to getting.
What if this is like the one guy who's sympathetic to us? You guys ever thought about that? What if this is the guy in the national committee who likes us? What then?
Birth control, all of these things, so it is about preserving Roe, but that's just one small part of the actual fight for reproductive choice, for freedom, and for the democratic rights of women. And that's what our fight is. And it's like Lenin said, we're fighting for the rights that capitalist democracy promises, but can't fulfill, right? And it's going to take something like universal healthcare, I think, to fully protect reproductive choice.
Aren't we on a slow march towards, they're eliminating right after right, Michael? And it's like creeping, my voice squeaked a little bit there, creeping fascism.
Oh my god. Vosh. Dude, calling abortion creeping fascism because abortion's becoming illegal? Come on, dude. It's just stupid. What about the fucking vaccine mandates and shit? Isn't that a fucking infringement on our rights? It is, but they're not talking about it. The Communist Party in Russia wrote an article about it. They were like, yeah, this is infringing on the bourgeois freedoms that we have. We should fight against it.
I mean, and I had the nerve, Rosanna, you heard it. There was some guy who attacked one of our comrades in Los Angeles and attacked the party in Los Angeles.
What are they talking about?
Because we were going to the women's march, and they said, how can you, this is a self-processed so-called march, how can you go to this bourgeois?
I think they're talking about Jackson. Yeah, they're talking about Jackson. He told me about this. What the fuck? Yeah, they're talking about Jackson. Yo, let me tell him. Hold on, I'm gonna DM him right now. Yo, Joe Sims was talking shit about you in the latest. Yeah, I DM'd him.
Women's march.
The women's march was fucking bullshit, dude. That's why. Because it was led by what? Apologists for Biden, the fucking sniffer?
You remember that? And as if it was some kind of, I'm proud to stand with women who are fighting for reproductive rights.
Well,
Damn, that's so brave, Joe. Joe, that's so brave. Are you proud to stand with the women who came out in and confessed their history with Joe Biden? Joe Biden's predatory acts toward them? You stand with them or no, not with them?
And what kind of Marxism is this, Michael? Is this the position of the Marxist movement?
I think we do fight for all workers, which includes women, which, make up more than...
This is the most stupid straw man I've ever fucking seen. Oh yeah, that's what it's about. It's about whether... It's not about women, dude. The Women's March is... It's called the Women's March, I guess.
Half of our workforce. And so I think we hit the nail on the head when we said, this is a working class issue. It's a Democrat.
Oh, and no, Jackson was talking about that fucking guy in... He was talking about that Communist Party guy in LA. And I looked on that guy's Twitter. And he was sharing shit about fat pride. He was sharing stuff about fat pride. Why is fat pride the agenda of communists? No, not Estrada. No, not him. He's cool. He's based. But he was like retweeting like these weird cartoons talking about like fat phobia and fat pride. Yeah, the Kamala retweeter. Why are communists defending fat pride? And look, this guy's Vosh, Star Wars.
Issue, but for example, bourgeois women, they can, if the court was to overturn Roe versus Wade, they could easily get access to abortion, whereas working class women can't.
But why are bourgeois women? Okay, why are bourgeois women overwhelmingly in favor of abortion, as opposed to working class women? I mean, I guess you can call them hypocritical, but isn't it that working class women are the ones most against abortion?
Working class women are the ones that's gonna have to do the back alley abortion or resort to some dangerous measure if they decide not to carry through a pregnancy. And so I think that, you know, for someone to dismiss women's rights or reproductive rights in general as
Yeah, that's totally what Jackson was doing when he was talking about the Women's March. It was because he was critiquing women's rights and reproductive rights. Shut the fuck up, you lying fuck.
a bourgeois issue, they're really missing that they're ignoring half of the working class, and I don't think that's the way to.
Yep, that's us. That's exactly what Jackson meant. He basically meant, you know what, guys? Fuck women. This is just for men now. This is only for men. That's really what he meant, right? That's basically what he was talking about. He was basically saying, "Hey guys." Sorry, I'm gonna get clipped again.
That's not a Marxist position.
I literally am, by the way. It happens every time.
But we're for bourgeois women having a right to an abortion too.
Of course,
God
it's a
damn it.
democratic and a working class.
I mean, please, you know,
Joe, can you stop being so fucking passionate about that abortion stuff? I don't know why you're so passionate about it. You're not
for
affected by it.
democracy in general for everybody, no matter what their
Yeah, I don't know if abortion's an issue of democracy, really. It's not. It's really not.
class is. Yeah, you start out along that path, and you, oh my God, it's a slippery slope.
What? I want to hear the slippery slope. Let's hear it.
The right, you know.
Yeah, it's gonna become like The Handmaid's Tale. By the way, fuck The Handmaid's Tale. Honestly, fuck that show. That's just an Islamophobic, disgusting show. Fuck The Handmaid's Tale.
Like,
The Handmaid's Tale is a WASP, liberal East Coast, bourgeois woman fantasy about people caring about... Hey, you know what? All these, like, women on fucking bourgeois liberal women who are like, I love The Handmaid's Tale, I love The Handmaid's Tale. They like it because it's a fantasy where they're always being given attention and people are caring about them all the time. But the brutal truth of the matter is, no one cares about you. No one wants to force you to do anything. No one wants to go near you. No one wants anything to fucking do with you. You're not entitled to people's unconditional attention. Right? He's like bourgeois, East Coast, whatever fucking neo-lib. Sorry. Margaret Atwood. Margaret. Men don't want to control you because they don't... You know what I mean? It's like... It's so weird.
the gender question and the race are all class questions.
We gotta talk about this femcel shit because it's a real fucking thing. I'm not gonna lie. It is a real thing. 100,000%.
We support every freedom that can be shared equally by everybody, right? So,
What about the freedom to... What about bestiality? You know what I mean? You sure about that? I mean, like, is that really what you know what I mean? What do you mean? And at what point does liberal freedom become authoritarian? It's like Dugan talks about how you've ran out of things to make liberal, so you're starting to force shit on people, right?
so the only so-called freedom that we don't support is freedom to use private property to exploit and oppress.
What?
All the reproductive freedom and all of that, those are general basic democratic issues, like you said.
No, they're not democratic issues. They're cultural issues. Communist Party should steer clear of.
There are circumstances, though, when we do support the right. For example, we support the right under capitalism for African Americans, Latino, Asians, and women to have business.
Waste.
As long as white men are.
I agree with this. I agree with that. Thank you, Mao Zedong thought. I don't think it's something under dispute, but I agree with that. I would even go so far as, yeah, I agree. I got no issue with that.
Property and capital own big businesses, and there's a general democratic the demand for small business, medium-sized African American, Latino. We support that, right? It's not
Sure.
the main part of our platform, but you know,
Sure.
I was in.
I support that right too, but that doesn't mean you can't call out the cynical, like, when CEOs are like, oh, we're gonna choose a female CEO. It's like, shut the fuck up, bro. But I mean, yeah, I support women business owners and shit. Sure.
South Africa once, and I made that point. The guy told me, I don't know about that, Joe. I said, well. Anyway, so this fight for abortion is because fascism is not going to appear full blown. It's going to creep up on us, y'all.
In the form of Kamala Harris, yes.
You got to fight every instance of the attempt to repress rights. Otherwise, you're going to wake up one day, it's going to be too late. It's going to be, too
wake
late.
up.
Anyway, a lot of things have happened in the
Joe Biden, wake up.
world today. Chile, Honduras. Is there a red wave going on in Latin America? Yo, should I move to Chile, Rosana?
Not Chile, not Chile.
No?
Perhaps Barbados or Honduras, where both their new presidents are women. Are left.
It's like, okay, they're women. What is there anything else? Isn't the right wing leader of Colombia a woman? Colombia president. Oh, why did I think it was a woman? Thatcher was a woman. What's her name? Yeah, Bolivia. She was a woman. She was right wing.
Are left thinking and moving in a socialist direction. That's their platform. So I think that's something that we celebrate. On the one hand over here, where there's an attack on women. In other parts of the world, the women are victorious. They're being elected by large margins, not just they're not on the edge. There were large margins of victory. So we need to also support them, however we can here from the United States. Hands off of Honduras and hands off of Barbados.
They called it a pink wave. They called it a pink wave 20 years ago. When
oh God.
The pink tide. That's right. 20 years
This guy's really boring.
ago, when Hugo Chavez and other forces, the progressive left forces, were coming to power democratically, and
aren't these guys against Hugo Chavez because he's too based?
In Latin America. And I think now we're seeing a resurgence of that. And I think it's important to note that a lot of these were long processes.
Castillo's against abortion, by the way. A lot of these lefty people in Latin America, just letting you know, Communist Party, they're against abortion. So I'm not sure if that's a democratic struggle. Atwood is friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. It doesn't surprise me.
You know, in the case of Barbados, it's been a 55-year process to break with the British Empire and get rid of the monarchy as the head of state. And so I think, as Rosanna said, that's very, a progressive development. And then you also have the case of Honduras, which after the 2009 U.S.-backed coup, which ousted Manuel Zelaya, his wife, 12 years later, after 12 years of
They're so smug. They're like, uh-huh. Oh, one sec. Wintertime grind. So hard when it's cold out. On a wintertime grind. Like the money, kick the hose up. Sorry. Guys, I have a question. So hypothetically, what if yesterday I didn't work out? I skipped another day at the gym. I worked out today. Should I go back to the gym tonight or should I not? Yes? Go back? You slept 3 hours? No, I could still manage it. I could still do it. Rest. I'm also leaving to let next week to LA. I don't know.
resistance has been able to form this coalition of not just leftists and Marxists, but they're leading a coalition of all working class people, whether they identify as centrists or social democrats or communists, whatever. And they form this anti-extreme right People's Front against imperialism, against corruption, and they were able to triumph by like a 20-point margin. And so I think looking at Chile, which, as Rosanna said, you may not want to move there just yet, depending on how it goes. It's gonna really, we're gonna see which way it swings, because this overall progressive shift in Latin America is reflected in Chile as well, but it's very polarized. They had their primary elections on the 21st. I'm sorry, not primary, but first round presidential elections on the 21st, and it was the communist-backed candidate Gabriel Boric and the extreme right son of a Nazi, literally son of a literal German Nazi, Jose Antonio Cast, as the two, going into the second round. And the center has thrown their support behind Gabriel Boric, the Christian Democrats, and as well as other progressive and left forces, Allende Socialist Party. But Jose Antonio Cast was just here yesterday and the day before meeting with Marco Rubio. Why is he here? You have the second round of elections on December 19th, and you're here meeting with the right wing in the United States. And a very Carmen Hertz, who's a communist member of Congress in Chile, she said,
"Hey, the thing is that Rubio is the center right in the U.S. So what are you talking about? Stop lying. Rubio is the most aligned with the Democrats in the fucking Republican Party."
What is he doing in the United States? Is he planning another January 6th? And I think that's very important to consider, that the world has their eyes on Latin America, but they also have their eyes on us on January 6th. So they know what can happen if the extreme right really gains a foothold.
We need to keep our eye on world development. I'm not moving anywhere, Scott. I'm staying here and fighting up to my last breath. Then maybe if after my last breath, you can take me anywhere you want.
But Joe, it would be great. It would be great to vacation in Barbados, which is such a lovely place. And it's ironic that it's the one setting out as a republic now, because of all of the British West Indies, that was the one that was seen as the closest to England, and it was called Little England for a while. So it was really heartening to hear the speeches at the ceremony that they had declaring themselves a republic. And I imagine that other places like Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago will follow suit in the future. So, and I like Rihanna as a national hero.
Everyone
I
likes
hope
Rihanna.
Puerto Rico follows suit
What?
too, you know,
Yes.
not to, and I hope that they have an economic and social policy that they'll form alliances with the other progressive elements in Latin America against U.S. imperialism. Because, you know, they're going to be, you know how they do, and they kind of choke, they put a chokehold, and they use all of their economic and political tricks to undermine these progressive developments. Well, more power to them, and we got a big job to do here, and the fight's going to get fierce come January and February. Now there's a new health threat. What is the name of that new virus? What's it called?
Omicron.
Omicron. I got my booster shot, and we encourage everybody to get booster shots.
What's the difference between these people and Justice Democrats? The Justice Democrats actually posed a threat to the Democratic establishment when they first kickstarted. These guys are just a cope circle.
In fact, I'd get two if I could. I mean, and but you got to be careful because, by the way, we're having an event tomorrow. We're celebrating Jarvis Tyner's 80th birthday. We got greetings from Angela Davis and from Blade Nzimande. Got Blades this morning, the leader of the South African Party.
Oh, you mean the sellout party? You mean the sellout party? The sellouts called the South African Communist Party. Those sellouts? Those guys, right? The ones who stood by Ramaphosa in Marikana? Those ones? Bunch of fucking traitors, man. That's who they're aligned with globally. The South African fake Communist Party of South Africa. You know where I'm aligned globally? You know where Infrared is aligned? In South Africa? And this is the whole fucking thing. It's the same shit. We are with the EFF and Julius Malema. That's where we're aligned. Infrared. It's the same fucking division, right? Joe's fear-mongering about infrared is exactly what the ANC and the South African Communist Party do about the EFF. We want to make the American EFF.
He's a member
Don't tell Christ in the Discord. We banned that guy.
of the.
We've always been EFF, pro EFF. We've always held Malema as our biggest hero. We've always been that way. Since we started, we've always been that way. Holy shit.
ANC
Even before we read up on China, we were pro EFF.
led government. He's he's not the health minister. The health minister has a lot of problems there. He's the minister of education. And many.
Hold on, guys. We have another leftist in the chat. Bro, you can't get 3 holes, and this analysis is sadder. Let's click his profile. So this is the guy talking about 3 holes. Let's see. These are, yeah, there you go. Where's he at? Did he run away? Where's he at? Is this you? Is this you? Is this you, dude? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I don't know. Maybe you should have kept the default the default picture. I think he's a gynecologist, right? He's a gynecologist. I mean, yeah, I hope it makes you sad. Just like Malema makes the traitors and sellouts of the so-called South African Communist Party sad. Want to know why? Because Julius Malema is actually a socialist, a communist, and a fighter for his people. The South African Communist Party are a bunch of fucking sellouts to the ANC.
Many others, and we'll be bringing greetings as well. We got a discussion question. It says, does socialist economic policies cause inflation? And if so, what should we do about it? Anybody want to take a crack at that? The socialist economic policies create... Scott, got your hand up.
They do.
Well, I was just going to say, I think
Except Chinese socialist policies, but otherwise, yes, they do. That's a big lesson. They do.
that, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. That inflation has been going on for a long time, and especially in the stuff that working class people need to buy. Healthcare has gotten hugely more expensive. Education, hugely more expensive. Food prices have been going up. So this idea that when you give money to working class people, all of a sudden the economy tanks is just a complete. It's a propaganda line. It's designed to exploit people's economic anxiety. The broader issue of inflation, it's always struck me as kind of a deflection, right? Worrying about inflation says we're worried about that our money can't buy enough, right? The money is not valuable enough. When the real question is, do people have access to the things that they need for a decent life?
That's the same question. How do you have access? What a stupid way of putting it. How do you have access? Isn't that the whole point? Should I get McDonald's? No, I'm not getting McDonald's. Fuck me, man. Oh my god, man. The fuck? What do you mean? Okay, let me just see. Oh man, fuck. Oh, I see. There's a certain amount of understanding that I'm gonna do. May in fact allow me. Fuck. All right. Put that away, bro. I don't know if I'm going to the gym today. I don't know.
And I think where
I went this morning. I don't know if I'm going to go again.
Socialist policy goes is ensuring that people have access to those things.
Your GF made your mod cry. Who the fuck are you talking about?
And regardless of the, what that means on the value of the hoarded cash of rich people.
Latina? Who did she make cry?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like interesting. Like again, I'm not trying to say anything. I was just saying like because in my chat, like my mods are pretty, we just have like a mod chat. So if like one mod knows, it's like I don't have like a main mod or anything, so I didn't know what was going on over there.
Bushy isn't
Every
Bushy.
stream, every stream has a main mod.
Who the fuck is she talking to?
Bushy is the mod. Like what?
Oh no, he's the manager, deadass.
Well, that ass.
Very well. My apologies.
You should be sorry. Fuck. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Haz,
I'm kidding.
it's better if you don't know, okay?
What's going on?
Okay, the fuck?
So I think a lot of this inflation talk is fear mongering right now. Paul Krugman recently suggested that the spending patterns among large
Was it
corporations
charm hole?
suggest that they don't see this inflationary trend continuing. And the other thing, the more important thing, like I said, is that I don't care how much hoarded cash buys. What I want to know is, do people have access to what they need? And the answer
You know
is
what I think causes inflation? Capitalism causes inflation,
Whoa!
not socialism. Didn't we have John Case here last
That's really in depth, dude.
week? And didn't he make the point that there were several contributing factors to the inflationary? One of them were supply chains, lack of access of some of the products, and the prices are going up. And then he was talking about the oil issues in the Middle East and so on. And then I have a friend who's an economist, and my buddy who I went to school, he says that the reason that is that they're trying to recoup the losses that they incurred during the pandemic. People weren't spending, they were at home, and so now that they got a little money in their pocket, they're raising prices in order to increase their profit margin. Do you think that that's true, anybody?
sounds
Anita?
reasonable.
I would say also, we're paying the tariffs that the Trump administration put on Chinese imports. I think, I mean, and also the tax policies of the previous administration too. I think, you know, inflation doesn't happen overnight. I think these are broader movements. And I do believe the people who
They all just said nothing. They all just said a whole lot of nothing.
many economists argue that it is temporary, and this is a very peculiar economy we've got right now. It's just, you know, because of the pandemic, it's completely unique circumstances. So I don't think you can compare it to the 70s, for example. I think we just have to ride it out, and hopefully it will be diminishing by well in advance of the 22 midterms. And today, I think we got a good job. Did we get a good jobs report today? Today, the jobs report came out, and I think it's expected to be good. I don't know if
Holding water for Biden.
it was,
And
but
look at this cope. Why is the CPUSA coping for Biden? This is like what Destiny does.
you know, that would
It
help.
was good. It was good.
A lot of those are part-time seasonal jobs, so we have to keep that in mind too.
All
They're
right.
like, what the fuck did you just say? How dare you challenge Biden? Everything is fine.
Well, you know, I think that capitalism is the cause of inflation. You want to get rid of inflation, get rid of capitalism.
Can you let me look? Okay. A society ran by the CPUSA would actually be a university for all society. You know, your college campus, it would be all society.
That's right.
I mean, that's the solution. It's not as simple as that, but that's the solution. Unless you,
you get rid of eventually commodities and the market of commodities where inflation is built in, and that's the.
unless you want to
It's a
have
long
price
process,
controls.
Like, you see this bureaucratic fucking shithole office? That would be all society. This office right here. This is all you would see.
Remember price controls in the 70s? Was it the 70s?
And she would rule over you.
Who was that, Nixon? I forget.
Well, Nixon resigned in 74, so.
That might have been Carter, but you know that kind of failed.
Yes, I think it was.
You know, you can't hold down the price of labor, so hold down the price of capital.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
It was Nixon. Forgot.
But then again, I'm not president. I don't control the Federal Reserve. I don't even have a bank account. Well, if I do, but there ain't much in it. So. Anyway, season's greetings, everybody. And we're going to have a few more shows. Do we have any other events coming up next week, Michael? Or are we out for 2021?
Well, we have Jarvis's birthday tomorrow, which we encourage everyone to attend online if they cannot make it in person to the city. If you do make it.
Who's Jarvis? Jarvis? First of all, he's a Jarvis Tyner.
Get to the city, please bring your vaccine card. Very important.
Yeah, go.
And a mask.
Go to it, Morlock. Go to it.
But if you want to attend online, you can go to cpusa.org and find the link, or you can also find it on any of our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Come. He would want you to come. It's think of it as a party event and kind of like a seasonal event as well. So we'll see you there.
And happy birthday, Comrade Jarvis Tyner.
Yes, happy birthday,
You know, Jarvis
Comrade.
has such a history. Like, I found out recently that Jarvis participated. I'm kind of giving away what I'm going to say tomorrow. Jarvis participated in one of the in fact, he led one of the big struggles to break the color line in this country. You know, the time was the late 50s, early 60s. The place was Philadelphia. And the circumstance was that black people, white, Latino, couldn't dance together publicly on TV, on American Bandstand. Now, I saw Anita, boogieing on American Band. I saw Rosanna there too. Michael and Scott weren't born yet.
I was on Soul Train. I was on Soul Train.
Could not dance together. And there was a young guy from Philly, his name was Bobby Brooks, who had a hit song. And they were playing the song on American, and the people from the community couldn't even come dance to the song. And so they had a protest. There was a group called the Socialist Youth Union of Philadelphia. It was the party's youth group at the time. And the Socialist was led by Jarvis Tyner. And that Socialist Youth Union and the people in the community organized a protest, and they broke the back of and American Bandstand had to relent. Big headline in the Philadelphia Inquirer: color line broke on Bandstand, and that's our history. That's part of what we did, but you never hear about it. You look on it online, you can't see that. We have such a tremendous history of accomplishments and struggle, but because of the suppression of information and the Cold War, nobody knows about it. We need to bring forward that history.
Yes,
I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Good.
I don't care what nobody says. I'm telling the truth.
Nobody's
And
going
are you going to talk about Jarvis's run for mayor in 1986 or 87? man. I
Damn
think
straight I'm gonna talk about it.
yeah, I collected signatures in that race.
Jarvis
If I
came out
don't
of the
talk
picture,
about it,
right?
I want Michael is going to do the fundraising pitch tomorrow. You give it a good idea. And so we're going to celebrate. We got a lot to celebrate, y'all. This party, I'm telling you, and our greatest celebrations are yet to be held. Our greatest victories are coming. They're coming. They're right down the road. I can see them. You know, Martin Luther King, I've been to the mountaintop. I've seen the other side. I kind of know what he was talking about, you know? But he was much higher than we are. He had a mass movement behind him. You know, we are a little anthill. But it's going to grow. So we encourage you to come, and we encourage you to join the Communist Party. It's a revolutionary party fighting for a new society. Socialism. Stay strong. Stay safe. Stay in the fight. Stay vaccinated. And we'll see y'all next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
If only you knew how bad things really were. Rosanna! Rosanna!